Welcome to The Impossible, where we empower others to face the impossible, inspire them to be impossible, and motivate them to do the impossible. Guys, we're back with another super exciting episode this week, and you are going to notice that the set looks a little bit different today. If you guys are listening on the audio platform, go ahead and pause, go down to the show notes, click the YouTube link, pop over to our YouTube, and check out the full 4K video, because we have, for the first time ever, our brand new podcast table, which is just a beautiful work of art. It is a white elm, hand selected from the Amish country. We went up and sourced it and got it ourselves, brought it back down here. My dad is actually a pretty expert high-level woodworker, so he put all of this together for us, arranged it, and he did all the epoxy work in the middle. You see there's a whole river of red running through the middle of epoxy, and we chose this kind of crimson red color to symbolize both the passion that we have as we pursue this, but also the pain and the struggles and sometimes the blood we bleed as we chase the impossible, as we pursue the impossible, because it's not always easy. It's not always without challenge or without injury or without loss. But honestly, in a lot of ways, that's kind of the point. And that it's that pain and that challenge that we go through that helps fuel that passion, makes it burn brighter, and ultimately helps us find those moments of achieving a level of potential beyond anything we could ever allow ourselves to dream for ourselves. So this river of crimson that runs through the middle symbolizes that, and we've got some gold highlighted aspects that kind of round off our colorway and our branding. So we're really excited for this piece, super excited for you guys to be able to check it out. And before we dive in today, as always, the number one thing we ask from you guys is, if you like this show, if you've enjoyed what you're learning here, and you've been able to incorporate some of these messages, some of these mindsets into your own personal life, please just take a moment, if you're able, to go ahead and pause this video, click subscribe, click like, and then most importantly, click that share button down at the bottom, copy a link, go over to your messages, paste it in a message, and send it to as many people as you know who you think it would help, because that is the number one thing that helps us achieve our mission and our vision here at Impossible Performance, is by spreading this message and this mission and this mindset as far as we possibly can to help as many people as we possibly can. Austin and I know how this message has deeply impacted our own lives, and we believe that it has the potential to truly help anyone facing any challenge or goal that they have for themselves. So if you're able to help us share this episode, that does wonders in helping us achieve that mission. But with that, we're going to dive in today, because we have the one and only Beast Coast Paul Maxsween in the house for the first episode with the new table. Paul,
yeah,
what's up, bro?
Hi.
It's been a minute since you've been on. I think it was this past summer, right before the July meet you were on last time.
Yeah, it would have been June.
Yeah. So talk to us, man. A lot's happened since then.
Yeah.
What's all transpired for people? Talk about the prep you just had first.
The prep I just had was pretty incredible.
It was amazing. The best prep of your life, I would guess.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. You were able to talk about your strategy, because you went self-coach for this time, right?
Yeah.
So what was your strategy coming into this compared to what you've done in the past?
Basically just more of listening to my body and what it wanted that day. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I got to hit this number, I have to do this and that, and no, you don't.
Yeah.
Because you could actually end up hitting a number, I should say, and then now the next 2 weeks are messed up because you strain too hard. Yeah. Instead of being able to be humble enough to realize, in this moment, my body's not wanting that. And then, learning to when, I set it away one time and it made perfect sense. Knowing when to listen to my body, but also knowing when, okay, I'm gonna have to push it no matter what.
Just really knowing yourself as an athlete and when you can push versus when you maybe shouldn't push, and give yourself more time to recover, maybe even adapt your training session around that. Yeah, that's a powerful skill, I think, for literally any athlete to learn. And it is such a challenging skill. And I think the only way you can learn it, the only way you can build that up over time, is literally just volume and experience and practice.
Yeah, you got to get a lot of reps in. Cause before I started, the first month, 5 weeks, was pushing the heavy I pushed myself to see how many I could do for 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then each week for the next month, I added weight.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you have to grow. You have to grow to where you want to go.
Mm-hmm. And you've got to lift heavy to get strong. That's just,
like
there's no way around that. You got to lift heavy to get strong.
Part of it was there's no choice. You have to do this to grow. And then part of it was, okay, you need to listen to your body to see what your maximal effort will be, you know?
So what would that look like? Say, just like a random squat Saturday. Did you kind of have an idea of what you wanted to do ahead of time? Or did you really like wait until you were in the gym, feel how warm-ups went, and take that as, I'm feeling really good today, I'm going to push it really hard, or I'm feeling pretty rough today, I'm going to back off and go either a little lower weight for higher reps, or just do less volume in general? How did that breakdown look?
I did that on deadlifts.
Okay.
I end up deadlifting only once a month.
Yeah. And that's going to be crazy for people to hear. Once a month deadlifting, when you've got some people I see trying to work in 2 deadlift sessions a week.
No.
And it's crazy. And that's what you guys have heard Curtis on this podcast. If you haven't checked out that episode, go back. It's a few episodes back and listen to him, because he is a phenomenal resource in this area. But
yeah, he is.
He talks about that all the time. He says deadlift is the hardest lift to recover from.
Yeah.
And I think it's absolutely true. I don't know exactly why. I assume it's because it just requires so much, or it causes so much CNS exhaustion.
Yeah.
And requires so much muscle and fiber incorporation from literally your entire body. But he says, most people, like, taking 3 weeks off deadlift before comp is huge for most people. That's what I did.
Yeah.
And I was deadlifting better at comp than I did literally the entire prep.
I took off probably a little longer than I should have, but it was 5 weeks between my last 2 heaviest deads, and I deadlifted 40 pounds more than I ever have. 30 pounds more.
Yeah.
30 pounds more.
That's wild.
672 to 701.
That's crazy. And you crossed that 700 barrier for deadlift, which is something.
Yeah.
How many years have you been working toward that?
2.
2.
At least 2 solid.
Yeah. And that had to feel unbelievable to do that.
It felt like nothing.
Yeah. You pulled it.
Crazy.
You pulled it easier than I think I've ever seen you pull 672.
Yeah.
And I think you pulled it way easier than, because you had some 685 attempts in the past, right?
683, yeah.
And so it looked so much easier than that.
Yeah, because I tried 683 in October, and then 5 weeks later, I was like, I should probably deadlift. And then I told myself, if I do not load 701, I'm doing myself injustice. Like, I knew I have to push it. Like, I'm not even going to try 683. I'm going to go 661 to 701. Like, we're going to try that jump and just see what happens. I'll either fail it or not. Either way, I loaded the bar.
Yeah, and deadlift is one of those unique lifts. And I think it marginally applies for squat and bench as well. But especially on deadlift, I feel like even a missed rep is still productive work. Right. Because you're forcing your body into the situation where it has to exert maximal effort in this movement. And say you only get halfway up, you only get to your knees. Well, that's not work lost. You're still building strength from that. Like, yeah, you may not have been able to complete the lift,
right,
but you're still building strength just from the effort you put out in getting where you can with it. And I think it helps with CNS training as well.
Yeah.
That was such a huge piece for me in this past prep. CNS training, especially with the squat, was just teaching your body how to, and that it can manage those weights that feel like they're just absolutely going to crush you.
Yeah.
I think it's a very, very powerful thing to practice.
Then with squats, I always push those. I always push squats for me personally, because I know...
And it's your best movement too.
Yeah. I'm very efficient at it.
Yeah.
And I know that I can get away with loading loading that heavier more frequently than I can any other lift. Like, right now.
Yeah.
I just... I'll be able to recover from it. Like... Deadlifts, trying to pull maximal every 2 weeks, it does not work.
Yeah.
For me, it just does not. But I can do that with squats. I can get away with that. But I also know that I can take 4 or 5 weeks and also load it. What's that word? Oh,
like progressive overload.
Progressive overload every week for a month, and then back down for a week, and then go up.
Yeah.
I know I can get away with that, so that's what I did. Just because I had to. Like, I took my calculator. Okay, I need to hit 690. for a single, but I need to do it in 5 reps.
Mm-hmm.
So what weight? I did my calculator, see what weight I need to hit to do that, and it's pretty accurate. You know,
Just like as far as the step up you're taking to get to that 6, because
Yeah.
that's one thing I think a lot of people don't realize. When you get to be the level of strength you are, and your max efforts start crossing the 700 line on squat and dead, especially, and probably like 400 on the bench, it takes a lot of work just to get up to that weight. Because
takes a lot.
for people who don't power lift, we don't just like warm up with a plate and then all of a sudden throw 700 pounds on the bar. Like, you've got to slowly kind of step up there, and it's a whole strategy that comes into play.
Like,
So
what jumps you guys?
yeah,
make?
what jumps do you make? Like, because it takes energy to get up there, and you don't want to do so many reps getting up there that you exhaust yourself and you can't make the lift. But at the same time, you want to still be able to stair step yourself up there so that you kind of build up to that maximal weight. Exactly. So you had like kind of a calculated approach for that. Yeah. How'd that? We're using like an application.
Yeah.
Or how'd all that work?
It was an app. Mm-hmm. Just put in your top weight.
Okay. What's it called? Yeah, pull it up. We'll put it on the show notes for people.
Let's see. Load the bar.
It's called Load the Bar. Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
And so you can tell it like, hey, I want to squat 690 today.
Yeah.
And it tells you what jumps to take.
325 is 716. We did 300. We did 330 kilos.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So now it has a warm up in the top right.
Mm-hmm.
And I type in 330 kilos. It gives you a general idea of what warm ups to do.
Okay, so it's saying like start with the bar essentially, then go to 176, 286, 396, 507, 595, 669, 720. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what we did.
That's pretty much almost exactly,
Yeah, and that's kind of a smart plan too. So if you guys are interested in checking that application, it's called Load the Bar. Check it out on an app store. Not sponsored or affiliated. It's just a cool tool to help people.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's just a cool tool to help people. And those are the things that are so cool to like bring in and leverage and help you figure out those things you need to do. So talking about this idea of really knowing your body, obviously we talked about like that has to be built up through time and volume and expertise, putting in those thousands of reps, those thousands of hours, just so that you can learn your body. But like, are there specific tools, tricks, techniques, anything we can do to help us with that process of learning our body, A, but B, also just knowing kind of in the moment what our body needs, what it can handle, what it can do?
Like in the moment kind of things?
Yeah, either in the moment or like long term across the whole process of it. Like, what kind of strategies have you used with helping to learn that?
Really listening to people who know more or have been doing it longer.
Yeah.
Just being around. You need to find a good coach, good people who are going to actually be honest with you and not just be like, send it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a send it day. You know, there's moments where your coach is going to be like, okay, you need to step up.
Yeah.
You know, but a good coach is going to be able to get in, like, be intuitive.
Yeah.
And then once you start being honest with yourself and with your coach and others around you who you're lifting with, I think, you know, you become more intuitive yourself. You know, don't be a know-it-all, but be wise enough to know when you're right.
So yeah, what like strategies can people use as far as like from a long-term perspective as well as more of like in the moment perspective? You're talking about getting a really good coach, and I think that's invaluable, and surrounding yourself with a good crew, because there's times, especially if you guys are newer to lifting, there's times where the people you're training with, if they're highly experienced lifters like the crew we have down at Monsters Bent Barbell, they're going to know your body probably better than even you know your body in those specific movements, because there's things that they're going to be able to see immediately. Foot placement, what your angles are like, how you're leaning, are you pushing your knees out? There's so many aspects that they will just immediately intuitively pick up on that you would probably never notice in a million years.
Right.
And I'm actually finding myself for the first time ever, I'm getting to where I can pick up on those things like hyper quickly. And it's all because of the crew that we train with,
Yeah.
and B, because the coach I had this last prep, Curtis Miller, because he was always so good at picking those things out in me, and it taught me how to like see those things in myself, which now allows me to see them in other people.
Right.
And so I think that's a really good strategy you lay out. Like, you'll be able to learn your body better by helping other people teach you those things, people
100%.
who are experts in it. So when somebody's like, we'll go through both things. When somebody's looking for a good crew to train with, what do they look for? And then when somebody's looking for a good coach to train with, what do you look for?
A good crew, number one, is consistent, because you're not going to progress if you're not consistent. Like, it just doesn't happen, you know? Consistency in everything is the key. So a crew who's dedicated, who really means who does what they say, you know, just doesn't talk about it. I know life happens, but, you know, they're overall consistent. I mean, you're in an environment where you can trust each other. I'm able to trust anyone there with, you know, whatever load I've had on my back, you know, whatever weight I've loaded on that barbell, I've felt safe, confident, you know.
And that's a powerful thing to be able to say, because you just squatted 727 pounds this last prep.
Right.
727. Like, that is a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Well over double your body weight. And that weight could crush, like, it could kill you
100%.
if you get in the wrong position with it.
Yeah.
And so you can't just take that weight by yourself and have no safety net.
Right.
And so to have a crew that you can say that with, because I feel the same way about, like, I was only squatting, you know, close to 500 pounds, but with my prosthetic,
right,
like, that weight could have killed me, you know? And I felt the exact same way. I never had a moment of doubt that if something went south, that there would be anything that would go wrong, because that crew would be right there to catch it.
Right.
And that is a big thing that we have to be able to take time to appreciate, because to have a crew like that you can trust at that level takes so much of the pressure off of the lift, and allows you to not worry about the external circumstances so much, because those guys got that.
Right.
And it allows you to go deeper inside and really focus on where you need to go, what you need to pull out to achieve that lift.
Like, on every max effort day, you know, we all rally together, you know?
And you can feel the energy in there too. When we know somebody's going max effort and they're really cranking something big out, you know it's coming, man.
I mean, it's not a big room, but it gets big.
It gets big.
Makes the space feel bigger.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, everyone's there together.
Yeah.
You know, it's like everyone's there in the lift with you.
Yeah.
You know, because everyone's invested so much time together. You know, I mean, hours a week together.
Yeah.
Over the course of several years now. Going on 4 years now, that's a lot of reps together, a lot of time together.
It is. And you're absolutely right. Like, everybody's doing that lift together, because that 727 you squatted, dude, that's one of the most exciting lifts I've ever been a part of in my life. And it's like, dude, my heart was like in there with you. Like, I'm standing right across from you, filming you. And I'm like my whole heart at the bottom of that lift, because you sunk it down deep, and then you come back out, and there was a little bit of just a tiny bit of a sticking point, where your body could have, if you had shifted forward.
If I'd stopped,
if you'd have stopped or shifted forward or anything, you'd have lost momentum and you'd have lost the lift. But you just kept driving, and my whole heart is like screaming, like, go, like, drive, man. And you just powered right through that lift, and it was one of the most exciting things I've ever witnessed. I'm going to be honest, dude. I was a little bit afraid you came out under that bar. I was like, I can't get too close to Paul right now. He's going to freaking level me. Because you were just this massive ball of just iron and force that came out of that bar. Dude, what did it feel like to go through that, bring that lift out of the rack, take it down to depth, come up with it, and hit that lift? What did that feel like, dude?
I mean, to be honest, I was ready for it, but I was a little nervous.
Yeah. And you should be.
Yeah, I was nervous.
Yeah, you shouldn't be taking max effort weight that you feel 100% just
I
totally
did
chill
not.
with.
I was like 98% there.
Yeah.
There was 2%, and I was like,
what am I doing?
Yeah. Like, this is nuts.
Yeah.
You know? And I felt that in a moment. I was like, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I'm like, there's no going back.
Yeah.
You know, once you do it, there's no going back.
No.
So it's between you and the bar at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And Austin said something. I had to go back and listen to the video. And then Curtis was like, big unrack.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Get under that bar and unrack it. And he's like, it's light. No, Austin said that. That's
Yeah.
what he said. Austin's like, it's light. I'm like, yeah, it's light. I went down. And then I was coming back up. I'm like, oh, we're doing this.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And then it just felt like nothing.
You just made that decision in the moment. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing stopping me from completing
No.
it. And that's that. What that is the concept we talk about of unruly faith in your own potential.
Yeah.
This idea that you just build such a strong capacity for your own belief in your ability to succeed that once you build that in your mind and your heart and your spirit, the body will absolutely follow.
Yeah. Yeah, once he said, he's like, it's light. I'm like, no, it is light.
Yeah.
I mean, this ain't nothing. I always tell myself, this is just another stepping stone.
Mm-hmm.
It's just another weight in the way to get to your goal.
Just another rep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And you bring up with Curtis talking about the unrack. He is so huge on that. And I think he is like one of the biggest pioneers right now in the powerlifting space, particularly in the squat. And it all comes down to that concept. And that was the number one thing he had to teach me. And it was absolutely true. You'll see him. He just put up a video recently talking about it of he can pretty much tell without fail every single time if a lifter's going to hit a squat by watching their unrack.
Yeah. And I've always been big on that myself. Like, that's why I've been so successful is because you're big under the bar. You're strong under the bar. I'm strong under the bar before I get under the bar.
Yeah.
You know, I'm braced before I get under the bar. I re-brace, and then we go. Like there, I do not go under that bar weak. Yeah. I don't go under the bar limp. I go under the bar braced, ready to go. I know where it feels, where it should be on my body. And if it feels, that's a feeling thing. Like, it's definitely a feeling thing because, you know, a lot of people get centered up on the bar, then they'll readjust, they'll move, and this, now you're not, no.
Yeah. Well, I think they let that fear, and I've done it before myself. It's a skill you have to master, but it's so easy to let that fear, particularly on the squat, just completely consume you. And then, like you say, you get into a spot where you're like adjusting too much
because now you're mentally
you're just
gone.
Not sure of yourself. And you're right. It's the inverse concept of what we talk about with the unruly faith. Like, if you allow yourself to be, you're going to be fearful under the bar if you're going max effort, and you should be if you're going max effort.
You should respect the weight.
Yeah, but the difference lies in, do you sit with that fear and still maintain total control over yourself?
Right.
Or do you let that fear consume you and start to control you?
Yeah, because if you don't go under that bar strong, then you've already defeated yourself.
I love how you put that. You go under the bar strong.
100%.
You've already decided you're strong. You've already put yourself in a mindset of strength, and you've already put your body in a state of strength. Like you talk about, you're already braced before you get under that bar. You're already you put yourself in the strongest position possible just to unrack it.
Yep.
And that is where all the difference lies, because when you have that strong unrack, the whole movement follows suit.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's so powerful, and I felt that myself. The 500-pound squat, I failed it the first time. I had a weak unrack, and I was shifted forward just a little too far, and that's when I got halfway down, folded me over.
Yeah.
The second time, I started to unrack it and felt like it was wrong. I started to push against the bar, and I felt it was wrong. I didn't even know if I was allowed to do it or not, but I was like, I'm not taking this weight right now. So I stopped, and I readjusted my back and got it exactly where I wanted. Once I felt that like bar click right where it needed to be, I was like, it's time to go, and we just took it. And I put so much effort and focus just into that unrack. I was like, I am going to have a perfect unrack. I don't care about anything else. I'm going to have a perfect unrack. And then I did, and then I got the weight.
Right.
And it's just such a huge piece to that movement specifically. But I love that concept you bring up of get under the bar strong. Put yourself in a state of strength before you ever get under that bar.
100%.
And I think that applies, that same mindset would carry over perfectly to bench and deadlift as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially, I mean, bench isn't my strongest, but, I mean, I'm not bad at it. I've done, I'm not a bad bencher, but 100%, I mean, even with your unrack on bench and everything, like, you have to be completely confident in every lift that you do. I mean, you have to have confidence there, But that's the exciting thing. Like, if you really chase it, like you're really chasing this at your highest potential, then you're going to be absolutely thrilled to be like, I just unracked new weight.
Yeah.
Like that rush is going to be what drives you.
Yeah.
Like,
And
you're going to be you're going to want it.
Yeah.
You don't want the same weight. You're like, oh, I've done this before. No, I need something new.
Yeah, and it's that moment of unracking, feeling new weight in your hands, and it's like so much opportunity lies in that moment. And it's like your whole world and your whole perspective could shift depending on how that moment goes. And so those are such powerful moments. We put so much time and energy and effort just to train to be able to earn those moments in life. And it's just an unbelievable feeling when you come out of those moments victorious. I mean, I even think though, like, even if you fail a lift, if it's like new territory, to me, that's exciting, dude.
Sure.
Like, it's just nothing but exciting. Even when I failed that 500 the first time, like,
Yeah.
I came out of that bar so happy just for the opportunity to like move with that weight on the back, and the knowledge that I had the strength and the courage and the confidence just to be able to take it.
100%.
Sometimes it just comes down to that. And I think I follow a very similar perspective. What you talk about, like, you are strong before you get under the bar.
Yeah.
I apply that same kind of process to our impossible mindset. Like, that's what I'm telling myself. Like, you'll see, when I'm squatting, especially, you'll see my mouth moving and stuff, and I'm like telling myself, like, this is an impossible weight. You are impossible.
Right.
Like, you have built an impossible version of yourself. This man never should have existed.
Right.
Yet here he is in front of this weight he never should have been able to take, and it's going to happen because of that person you built.
Right.
And I think I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's such a powerful perspective that's usable for anybody at any experience level.
100%.
Doesn't matter if you're squatting 100 pounds right now.
No.
Like, you can still take that same mindset of, I am strong before I get under this bar, and it's going to stay with me under that bar and through the entirety of the lift.
100%. Like deadlifts, same thing.
You walk up to the bar strong.
Walk up to the bar strong. I was when I did the 701, I was like, I'm either going to fail it or do it. That's it's either yes or no. But either way, I didn't sell myself short because I put it on the bar. So if I wouldn't have even tried it, I could have done 694 and be like, oh man, 700's there. Or I was like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I do not have time to be that guy right now. I need to be the guy who said, I loaded 701. That's what I needed to do. And then I either did it or I did not.
Yeah. And either way it would have played out.
Yeah.
It would have been a successful training session because you took that unruly faith in yourself. Like, you put yourself in that position and you built the mental, spiritual, emotional, and even physical strength that it takes to be able to step up to a weight like that.
Yeah.
A weight you're not sure that you can do.
I had no
and that
idea.
you have to convince yourself that you're strong enough to handle it. And then you have to instill that belief in yourself before you ever even step up to the bar.
Yep.
And that is one of the biggest skills, I think, in powerlifting that I see can totally break lifters down if they don't have a skill in that area.
Because I could have easily not pushed through. I could have easily just let my hips stay loose and not push through.
Yeah.
And be like, oh man, this is heavy.
Yeah. Or even before you got to that weight, you could have said,
We're not set up.
we're not. Yeah. You could have said, like, I'm not going to do that weight today.
Right.
Like, it scares me. I'm not sure if I can do it. We're not going to touch that weight today.
Yeah, because I'd failed 683 multiple times. And I was like,
you could have cut yourself short. You could have said, I'm just going to go for 683. I'm not going to touch 700.
Yeah.
But you knew from prior coaching, from all the experience and the hours and the reps you've put in, and from the community you surrounded yourself with, you knew that even if you weren't going to make that lift today, you knew you at least had that potential within you, that it was basically your responsibility to step up to that bar. We say that all the time.
Yeah.
Your potential is your responsibility.
Yes.
You felt that potential there.
Mm-hmm.
You leaned into that responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
and you took the power of the situation because you took responsibility of
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
It's a powerful place to be, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you talk about, I love how you said that the number one thing to look for in a community is consistency.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful mindset, because I think so many people would say you want experience. You want the most experienced crew you can find. And that's great. Like, experience is invaluable.
Sure.
But you can't necessarily, we're blessed at Monsters. We can step into a gym where that squat crew we train with probably has over a combined, if you add everybody's experience up, we have probably a combined 100 years of training experience in there.
Yeah.
If you look at like Matt and Clayton and
Tab.
you had Pete and Tab and all those guys in there, and even you and I are starting to build some experience up. I mean, I've been lifting for 7 years at this point, almost 8, and now powerlifting only like really like 4 or 5, but
Right.
still, it adds up over time. But
No, it's starting to add up.
Yeah.
It's stacking up.
especially you get Gary in there.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
Gary's going to have 100 years of experience himself
By himself,
before it's
yeah.
all said and done.
Yeah, we love Gary.
He's a myth and a legend, but but no, dude, it's experience is huge. But I love that you said consistency,
Right.
because that allows anybody to walk into any gym, and if you can just find people who are consistent,
Yeah.
that is such a foundational piece. It almost doesn't matter how much experience they have, because you'll build up the experience.
Yeah, you'll
over
gain the
time.
experience just by being consistent.
Yeah. That's the key to experience is
Yeah.
consistency. You
Right.
can't have experience without that.
Exactly.
So wherever you guys are right now, whatever your training style is, even if it's not powerlifting, go into a gym, find a group of people who are consistent.
Yeah.
Even if it's just 2 or 3 people around you, then you can all work to build that consistency together, and then follow that pursuit of whatever it is you're chasing, and you will get to a place where you all develop masterful experience just from that consistency.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's huge. So in looking for a coach, because I know you're kind of coaching yourself right now, and it has gone beautifully this past prep. What do people look for in a good coach that you want to bring on?
Probably the top 3 things would be availability, adequate judgment, and probably experience.
Yeah, and I think those are good pieces. And I think for a coach, we talked about experience with a group and how consistency is even more important. But with a coach, you definitely want experience.
Like, where is this coach?
Yeah.
Where have you pushed yourself through? Where have you put yourself?
And I think that's perfect. I like how you say that. Where have you put yourself? Because and not, you didn't necessarily say like what numbers have you hit,
Right.
Because there is this philosophy that I believe in, that sometimes the greatest coaches aren't always the best athletes, and vice versa. The best athletes in the world don't always make a good coach. Like, you have amazing, incredible, unbelievably strong athletes out there.
Right.
And they know how to get really strong for themselves, and they've had coaches help get themselves there.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be a good coach to other people.
No.
Sometimes that comes through, but not always.
Not always.
And so you don't necessarily need a person who is the strongest ever.
Right.
But you do want somebody who has put themselves in incredibly strength demanding situations.
Yeah.
And that doesn't always require like the highest numbers ever.
Right.
It requires them to put themselves in a state of strength, like you talk about, in hyper competitive environments, in incredibly intense environments. And this is an important thing, because right now in the age of Instagram and online social media and stuff, you're kind of seeing this wave of where, like, not to discredit anybody, but you see people who will go out and do like 1, 2, maybe 3 competitions, and all of a sudden they're a coach on Instagram.
Right.
And it's like, again, not to discredit anybody, but it's like, have you really built up enough experience that you can actually charge to coach people at a high level? You got to be careful about that, I think, as an athlete.
My first 3 meets they were incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But my 7th meet, I got disqualified.
Yeah.
Because I bombed out.
Yeah. And
so I had, by my 3rd meet, I wasn't even close to being where I bombed out.
Yeah. You hadn't even built that level of experience
No.
yet, you know? So I think that's something to look for whenever you're looking for a coach. What is their experience level? And again, not that they've necessarily, certainly you want somebody who's strong and who has built a high level of strength for themselves, but you don't necessarily need somebody who's like become the strongest athlete ever, who has nothing but all-time world records, you know, but you need somebody who has put themselves in that position of strength, likely competed at some pro meets before, and you know, has a rich background of not just training and competing, but also educating themselves. That's one thing I always appreciated so highly with Curtis, is like, he's invested so much time, energy, and money and resource into going to like elite FTS conferences, going to strength conferences. He's got a degree in kinesthesiology. You know, like, he's built that foundational background of knowledge and education and experience to help complement everything that he's done under the bar as well. And I think that's what makes him such a powerfully effective coach.
Yeah, I think, well, just for comparison, my first meet is a local meet at Monsters. You know, everything there's pretty much just about as controlled environment as you're gonna get. Is a local meet at your own gym. Like, that's pretty much like ground zero.
Yeah, and that's a good place to start for people,
which is great, fantastic. Yeah. Like, if your local gym has a powerlifting meet, that's incredible because it's fun. Yeah, you know, I've met a lot of friends through that way, like people that come there. But so that's like complete controlled environment. You know, as far as powerlifting meets go. Now let's fast forward to my 7th meet, nationals last year in October, out in Indiana. 1, I went away from home. 2, I'm in a completely new environment. 3, I'm on a completely different setup. You know, we were running two different platforms.
Of like monos you weren't used to at all either.
Monos I don't use. Well, the Dynabody's fine. It's not.
Do they have the Dynabody?
Yeah, it was the Dynabody.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the Invictus out there.
Oh, might be.
I think it was I think Invictus did that whole meet
Invictus.
because they were willing to like bring all the equipment out, set it up, tear it down. Yeah, I think it was an Invictus mono you were using, which we've never used before.
So it was, yeah. I mean, it's completely new equipment. You're right. Yeah, no, it was completely new equipment. You know, I mean, that factors in some, not a lot, but it does factor in.
Yeah, you can't let it control you or derail you, but it is an additional, you know, challenge that you have to take into consideration.
But the thing about that meet was the timing. You know, if you're used to training a certain way, competing a certain way, by that time I had 6 meets, almost the same exact way. You know, so I was used to that. Yeah, I get to nationals,
you put yourself in a totally new position.
I had a good total. I had a good record, but now it's like, where they had 2 platforms, the meet director wasn't as experienced as what he needed to be to run 2 platforms. So now my platform stops for an hour and a half to let the other platform catch up.
And that whole time you're just sitting.
And so between bench and deadlifts, by the time I'm in the last flight anyway, by the time I benched and deadlift, it was over 4 hours. Like, I was done. Yeah, you know, like it was a long time.
Yeah, and it's hard to keep yourself fresh throughout all of that as well.
So it ended up being 12-hour meet.
Yeah, just a long day.
It's a long day. Yeah. It's like there was long breaks. Yeah, in between all this stuff. Yeah, and like I was not ready for that. Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, but it's an experience you've now built. So that if you ever get in that situation again, you'll know how to handle it better. Yeah. And so like anybody who you're looking for a coach would have competed enough and put themselves in enough high level positions, like competing at a national meet or traveling for meets in general, or maybe a professional meet, that like they've encountered a lot of those challenges themselves. So they would be able to help you as an athlete work around and overcome those challenges. And I think even though Clayton wasn't your coach, he had enough experience. He's part of your community. He was able to help you through some of those things that day.
Yeah, Clayton helped a lot.
Yeah, and that's huge. And that's a big piece of Clayton, is like he will always give so much of himself, even if he's competing as well that
100%.
day, which he was, to help his friends, his community,
Yeah.
his athletes. So
Yeah, everyone, the Monsters group that was
Yeah.
there, we all rallied together because I was like wanting to just lose it.
yeah.
I was not okay.
Yeah. But you stayed strong.
Yeah.
You finished out that meet, even though you bombed out on it, you still finished it out strong.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of lessons to take away from that day.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah. So talk me through, dude, because we talked about at the beginning how you had the best prep of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately we come up to the week leading up to the meet and you were ready to set unbelievable numbers on that platform.
Yeah.
Well over an 1,800 pound total, looking at potentially a 400 plus bench.
Yeah.
Potentially like at least probably a 730 squat, if not more.
Yeah.
And at least a 700, if not more deadlift.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, was it Tuesday? Tuesday before the meet.
Yeah, 5 days before the
Yeah,
meet. 6
5 days before the meet. Crazy stuff starts happening.
Yeah, so I'm at work. Prep went fine. Like everything was good.
Beautiful.
You
No
know,
issues.
It was awesome. And I didn't know if it was fatigue or what. I was like, I had the heaviest total I've ever done in training, the heaviest lifts I've ever done. Like it should be.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, maybe I'm just tired. My body's just trying to catch up. And Tuesday I was at work and I thought I'd strained something, had abdominal pain. And I was like, this is weird, because I wasn't really doing anything. I was, kind of had tapered off of everything just because, it's the week of the meet, not trying to do anything crazy. My body went through a lot already. And, I was like lightheaded. I just did not feel, no matter what I did not feel normal.
Mm-hmm.
And that night I went to the hospital. Shelby thankfully convinced me to go. She's like, no, you're going.
Why is it we're so bad about that? I'm the same way. Like I will do anything to not go to that ER, not go to that hospital. But I think the women in our lives are a lot better at knowing what needs to happen.
Yeah, she's like, no, you're going.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
And thank God she did.
Yeah.
Like, thank God she did.
So Tuesday night, I get there to the ER. I tell them, everyone's like, where's it hurt and poking me and this and that. And I'm like, my abdomen. Like, I don't know what exactly it is, but
abdominal pain.
Yeah, I'm having abnormal pain.
Yeah.
So I get a CT done. They're doing my my labs. They keep trying to check my troponin.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was.
Yeah, which is a very specific measurement for a heart attack.
Yeah.
It's probably what they were afraid you were having.
Yeah, they kept checking them.
Yeah.
And Shelby's like, why are you checking those? Why do you keep looking for them? It was like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And they didn't say anything. And the doctor finally comes back in. I think it was a hospitalist. I'm pretty sure. They came in. They're like, your triglycerides maxed out our machine. So it threw your body into acute pancreatitis, and your blood sugar's over 300. I was like, that sounds all horrible.
sounds not good.
But again, I was like, I don't think they thought it was funny, but I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, if you're gonna do it all the way.
Yeah, 100%, man. might as well, like if you're gonna explore new territories on a squat, you might as well on the triglyceride machine as well.
I was like, I mean,
yeah.
We maxed it out.
Yeah. Max effort day, baby.
I'm like, well, this probably explains a lot.
Yeah. And didn't they say, because they had to run it to like a couple different labs to really actually isolate the number, but their machine maxes out at like what, 1,000?
No. Their machine maxes out at 4,425.
Okay. So you were at least 4,400 on your triglycerides.
Like it was spectacular.
We don't even know how high, dude. When you told me that number, I like almost didn't believe it because I think the highest I've ever seen in practice was like 800 something.
And that's over 500 is extremely dangerous.
Oh yeah. Because like over 150 is considered high.
Yeah, anything over 150 is high.
500 is very dangerous, and you're at freaking 4,400 plus.
Yeah,
that's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
crazy. And So basically, you go through the whole kind of doctor process. They rush you up to Grant Medical Center in Columbus for a little more specialized care.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of sit for a period of time on an insulin drip, letting your blood sugar come down, letting those triglycerides come down, basically letting your body kind of catch up metabolically.
Pretty much.
They get the pancreatitis taken care of just by lowering those numbers. And fortunately, I mean, if it had gone on much longer, dude, you'd have been in like full-blown pancreatitis. You could have gone septic. Your body could have had immune-related reactions. Like, you could have potentially had a heart attack. Like, there's a number of things that could have happened.
Yeah, there was like, basically the doctor said if I wouldn't have came in and got treated for the pancreatitis, I would have been a heart attack or a stroke or something.
And that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that could have been life-threatening. It could have severely impacted your function for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, thank God they caught it like right at the exact moment they needed to.
Yeah.
To be able to get you healthy again, relatively short period of time, and keep you safe.
Mm-hmm.
But what I wanted to check, because basically they found out like, and I don't know that we've got all the answers yet, but basically they found out you've got a genetic mutation, a genetic disorder that keeps your body from processing fats and triglycerides correctly. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's the one they're looking at is familial hypertriglyceridemia.
Yeah.
Basically, a genetic disorder keeps your body from processing those correctly, so it keeps your triglycerides sky high. You know, and then that can affect your glucose metabolism in turn. So now you're on this whole path of trying to figure out, how do I manage my diet, my training in a way to keep myself healthy from a triglyceride and a glucose approach.
Yeah.
And that's been a huge challenge. But what I want to dive into first, because I think that this is the part that a lot of us don't know how to deal with, don't know how to overcome. You just had the best meet prep of your life by far. You're looking at setting massive numbers on the platform. That's a lot of time, energy, financial, and resource investment it takes to get there.
Yeah.
And then 5 days before the meet, everything crumbles down on it.
Yeah, it's out the door.
What's going through your head? How do you keep your mindset strong? And how do you maintain this state of strength you talk about? Even knowing that, like, you're not stepping on the platform. You were still in the hospital the day of the meet.
Yeah.
You're not stepping on the platform. How do you keep yourself in a state of strength when you're faced with that knowledge of that meet's taken from you?
I knew that if I could do this while sick, imagine what I can do when I'm healthy.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I told myself. I was like, if my blood is bad right now, because my blood was like Crisco.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if my blood was like that, imagine what I can do when I get healthy, when I get my body right, and have good blood going through my body.
That's a powerful thing to hold on to.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Did you have moments where you're like, this is totally unfair, this shouldn't be happening to me, why is this happening to me?
No, I didn't really feel like that. I was just grateful because Shelby and I, we have a baby boy coming in April.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. There's a lot of things other on my mind. I'm like, dude, I would have been gone.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been fair to anybody. There's something within my responsibility that I can take charge of.
Yeah. It's huge, dude. It is.
And I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I've learned over my life that if there's a challenge, I'm going to figure out how to be successful. And I was just grateful that my pancreas did what it did. Because if not, I wouldn't be in the same state I am now.
Dude, guys, I want you to actually click back a couple times on that rewind, and I want you to listen to that message again. Paul was grateful to be in the situation he was. And if you can build that mindset and you can build that skill, there is absolutely no challenge in this universe that you cannot overcome. Because he could have so easily allowed himself to cripple under that knowledge and just say, this is unfair. Why is this happening to me? This shouldn't be happening. I'm angry, I'm upset, this is everybody else's fault, this is the universe's fault. You could have so easily gone there.
Sure, I'm sure.
But Paul was grateful. He was great. He recognized the things in his life that he's living for. He recognized the responsibilities he has in life, to his unborn son, to his girlfriend Shelby, to himself, to the son he already has. And we've said it before on the podcast, so I'm going to say it again. With great responsibility comes with great power. They got it backwards in the movie. Once you accept responsibility for your life and the people you serve, you can build you take unbelievable power over those situations. And Paul was grateful that his pancreas set off the sounding alarm so he could get to the hospital and they could catch and fix everything before something catastrophic happened. So he was grateful that he still had the opportunity to be strong and to come back stronger once he gets himself healthy. And he was grateful that he will still be here and in a healthy, strong position for his son Dakari he already has, and for his unborn son coming in March.
So now, I mean, I was gung-ho. I'm like, I got to meet with my primary care doctor, get me on my medicines, let's take them, let's figure out how my body's going to feel, how do I need to eat? What do I need to do? Yesterday was the first day I went back to the gym after 2 weeks. And I felt weak, but I was like, I'm here, and which is fine, And, tomorrow I'll meet with my endocrinologist, and I got a boatload of questions for him because we got to figure out, not necessarily getting back to the platform, but how do we get back to the platform?
Yeah. Like,
brother, we're going to eat our way to health. Like, we're going to figure out how to conquer this thing. Not just manage it. I'm not. The genetic thing obviously has to be managed with medicine, which is fine. Like, you just have to, there's no, now that I have that knowledge, it's like, okay, so what can I do to conquer this, because if something's going to be along with you, you might as well be as strong as you possibly can,
I love how you say that of you're not here to just manage it, because we always talk about managing disease states,
right?
But you're not here to manage it. No. You're not here to just like try to keep it at bay as much as possible. No. You're trying to conquer it. Yeah. You're trying to optimize every aspect of your life through all 4 domains of performance in overcoming and in putting yourself in the highest possible position of strength you can in the face of this disease, this challenge. And that's going to push you so much further in your potential than the mindset of management ever would.
So that goes back again to, what we were talking about. How do you be intuitive about your own self? It's, I just told like I said, I told myself, if I wouldn't have learned my body through powerlifting like I have, I probably would have gave up. I mean, honestly, like, I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have been as intuitive. I wouldn't have been as fortified. My body's strong. My mind's a lot stronger than what it used to be. Everything's way stronger than what it used to be. So now it's like, okay, so we're already a step ahead. It's not like I'm coming back weak and then trying to build. It's okay. You're strong. This is just I wouldn't say an inconvenience, It's an opportunity to be better.
It's a challenge, and all challenge comes with opportunity.
Exactly.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
That makes sense.
Dude, it's an honor to sit here and hear you talk about your mindset that way. Because I don't think even I knew how strong you were. I knew you were going to get through it. I had no doubts about that. But I don't think I even knew like how powerful the perspective you had built was in that moment.
Oh yeah, I already knew we had it conquered. As soon as they told me, I was like, we're gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
Like, I was immediately, they're like, you got a genetic thing, you got this, this, and this. I'm like, well, how do you I asked them, like, well, how do you work with that? They're like, diet, exercise, and this and that. I'm like, so all week I've been researching, okay, what diet do I need to be on?
dude, you've been hardcore educating yourself. It's been cool to see. And you're taking time to try to find maybe a coach or some system you can work through that will help you get in as healthy of a position as possible, and then be able to take that healthy position and apply it to the powerlifting setting, and be able to maximize your performance in that area.
We're going to figure out how to do, I even thought about kicking over into some kind of strongman training for the body.
Yeah.
You know, like,
because it's explosive. There's a lot of cardio involved.
Exactly.
You know, there's a lot of functional training involved in there. Like, it could potentially be a big helpful boost in helping to manage this or to conquer this situation.
Yeah. Like, I just, like, it just opens doors, honestly, because you're like, what's next? Yeah. I don't know.
You're considering and exploring things you never would have before.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I also love about your mindset in this situation. I don't even know if you've recognized this in yourself yet, but so many people would have looked at that situation and said, oh, that entire prep's lost. And it's just not true. Like, just because you didn't get to step on the platform does not take away an ounce of the strength you build in that prep.
No, I literally built my body strong enough to where it did not shut down when it happened.
100%.
It just threw a little pain.
Yeah. And honestly, you could argue that prep probably helped save your life too, because you're making your metabolism turn over enough energy and making it utilize enough resource. This is probably the only thing that kept you functional while your body was kind of in metabolic chaos, you could say, you know?
Oh, true.
And so that's powerful as well, but you will always be a stronger person for having done this prep.
100%.
And just because you didn't get to step on the platform does not take away an ounce of that time and energy and effort you put into it. And that was just like default to you. I remember being so amazed that like that was just default to your mindset. Like, you never had a moment of like letting yourself feel like a victim in that situation.
No, my mind, honestly, I did not go there.
Yeah.
You know,
and when you can build up that level of strength that like the victim state doesn't even come to you as like a consideration or an option, then you have built an immense will for yourself. And that's where we have to get to, because victimhood brings nothing but pointless pain and suffering.
Yeah, you cause yourself, because now not only do I get to be healthier, but I get to explore other options on how to exercise. I get to learn new things about myself. I get to learn how to overcome new challenges. I get to explore new diets, meal plans. I get to explore new routes of everything that I already love and enjoy, that I've already put my passion into. So it's exploring routes of stuff that I probably wouldn't have before.
And that's huge, dude. That's huge. And the other thing with it is you've given yourself a strong timeline to be able to conquer this as well. You're not trying to say like, oh, I've got to get in another meet 6 weeks from now. Like I've got to, be back to this maximal strength. Yeah. You're not rushing things. Like from what I've heard you talking about, you're looking at this as like a year from now. Yeah. I want to be totally optimized and conquered of this challenge.
Yeah. Because I need to do what I need to do to be healthy, to get my markers where they need to be, to where, I don't have a blowout. So, however long it takes, but, if it takes a year to sit there, get down to a healthy body weight to where my markers are where they need to be, I'm able to push strength training. I'm able to, add fats back into where I can have, the energy sources like I need to get through a prep, like if I can, however long it takes,
Yeah. And what's most powerful is that even if it takes 5 years, I know you'll still be dedicated to this mission, because you've already gotten to a place where you're not like dependent on the outcome.
Right.
You've fallen in love and dedicated yourself to the process,
right? Which
was what we call the being impossible. You're going to keep building this impossible version of yourself. Right now, a Paul who's 240 pounds and can still squat 700, that's an impossible version of yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's a person who never should have been able to exist given the challenges you're facing.
Right.
Yet you're going to build that person.
Exactly.
And that's what you're already in the process of right now.
Yeah.
And when you step up to the platform with that impossible version of yourself to do something impossible, no matter when it is from now in the future, it is going to be one of the most immensely gratifying things you've ever felt in your life.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful
And
thing.
I cannot wait to witness it, bro.
I'll have both my sons there.
Yeah.
I'll have Shelby there. I'll have my monster gang. Like, we'll be able to circle back and be like, you took a challenge and turned it into an opportunity. Like you said.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm going to save this video clip.
Yeah.
Because someday in the future, I'm going to post a video of Paul talking about that.
Yeah, 100%.
And we're going to overlay footage of it exactly happening.
100%.
And it's going to be a cool thing to witness.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Before we wrap up here, I want to chat a little bit about that baby boy you got coming.
Oh, yeah.
What does it mean to you, dude, to know that? I mean, you already have one son. He's how old is Dakari now?
11.
11.
Yeah.
So he you've been raising him for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and now you have the opportunity to bring another son into this world
Mm-hmm.
and help teach him and raise him
Yeah.
and grow him and instill in him these values of strength and that powerful mindset that you just laid out for us. What does that mean to you?
I not only just, I think about this a lot. As a parent in general, like, there has to be a softness. There has to be a compassion there. And understanding that this little human is depending on me to learn and to grow and to be nurtured and to be cared for. But they're also, because if we allow the traumatic things, if we don't allow ourselves to heal from trauma that we've been in our life, we're doing ourselves an injustice by taking away that compassion. It's like, be okay with being soft, being caring, being compassionate. Sometimes you gotta let your, we get, on meat day, I don't know how to explain it, because I never talk about it out loud. I just think about it in my head.
Just say the words that come to you.
Yeah, just big emotions.
Yeah.
It's like exciting, but also at the same time, like, there's that understanding of, how is this gonna go, and life's not always been the easiest. I won't go down that road right now, but you almost want to be fearful, but you're like, you can't be that, and but also, how do I let my excitement be more than that? Because it's there's a little baby growing inside Shelby right now. It's a beautiful thing, and that has to shine through everything, no matter what. Because life's not always easy, and it seems that one thing after another and after another. It's like, I was thinking about this morning. Like, if I were to sit there and think about everything, I would get, and to be negative about everything, I could justify it, I'm sure. But why justify it? Why not take everything and be like, this is a beautiful blessing, and if you stack everything on top of each other, it's like, no, you take one thing at a time. And maybe, I guess we'll go there. Speak into it. Speak that blessing into your life. Don't just think about it. Put it into the atmosphere. Put it out there, man. This is a blessing. Everything that I went through was a blessing. Everything that happened is a blessing. Every opportunity that I have is a blessing. Because now that I have an opportunity, that means that there was something that I needed to overcome. There was something that I needed to learn. Or something that I could help somebody. I could be a better person by helping them. Or how do I transfer that over to where I can be the best father I can be? What inside of me has needed to just be gone to where I can be the healthiest, strongest, caring, compassionate dad I can be. Like, I want to be able to instill in my children that you need to be strong, but you also need to be caring. Because you can be strong and also not care. Or you can be weak and you can live like a victim. You know?
Yeah. Dude, you laid that out so beautifully. And the part that I love the most is where you talk about like speaking it into existence.
Yeah.
Because our reality in life is 100% dependent on our perspective.
Yeah.
Two different people can live through the exact same situation, and they can view their reality in entirely different ways,
Right.
based on their perspective. And perspective is a skill. It's not just something you have or you're born with.
Sure.
It's a skill that you build up.
Sure.
And you can either have an entirely negative perspective, like you talk about, like you could view this new baby, this blessing that's coming into your life, you could view that as, oh my gosh, I'm not sure if we can financially handle it. How are we going to manage it from a time perspective?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I have space for this right now.
Right.
You could view it that way.
Yeah.
And in doing so, you would let that negativity fester inside of you, and it would carry over to that child once
100%.
they're born. But you've chosen to take the other route, the route that requires strength and responsibility and gives you power in saying that this child is a blessing.
Yeah.
Yes, there's going to be challenge from it. There's nothing more challenging than raising a child. There's not.
Right.
But because it's such a huge challenge, it is an immense opportunity. Every single day is filled with immense opportunity.
Yeah.
And like you talked about, you get to help that child become a human.
Yep.
You get to help build them and help grow them. And it all starts because they are watching every single movement, every aspect, every word that comes out of your mouth.
Yep.
I'm sure you've experienced it with Dakari when he was younger. We see it with Lily every day. She knows words that we don't even know how she learned them.
Right.
But she had to have learned them from us at some point, you know? And when I hear that, it makes me realize she is watching every single aspect, every movement, every second of what we do.
Yep.
Even subconsciously, she's absorbing that. And you brought up such a huge piece of, you have to be able to show them what true strength looks like. True strength comes from vulnerable places. You have to be able to be vulnerable in front of them.
Yep.
So that you can show them, here is a spot where I am weak and I need to do better, and here's how I'm going to do it.
Exactly.
Like right now, I am. So we've actually kind of had this fun little experience of where you were in the hospital 2 weeks ago, and I came up to visit you, and then I spent this last week in the hospital, and you came up to visit me.
Yeah.
It was like the tables had turned, and it was just so funny because we never would have known that like 6 days after I visited you, you'd be coming to visit me.
Yeah.
And dude, that meant so much to me. It really did, because I was in a tough position at that point before I'd gotten to transferred up to Columbus. But regardless, I'm in a spot right now where I'm stuck on crutches the next 2 to 3 weeks, and I've got this amputated leg, and when you're on crutches, you just can't use your hands.
Right.
And dude, there's a couple moments where it's like really like it's like a heartbreaking feeling when your daughter's on the ground crying and you can't pick her up. And I will sit down on the ground and I'll hold her, but I can't like pick her up and carry her into the other room right now. And I can't like just grab her out of the car and carry her inside right now. And this is where like, and I could record a whole episode on this, but like Lauren is just the most beautiful, amazing person who's ever existed. And from my perspective, you know, and she's so good and so caring and so helpful, not just to me right now, but to our daughter as well. Yeah. But I had a moment where I was sitting on the couch. It was just earlier this morning, and Lily was like looking at my leg and like petting my leg. And I told her, I said, Lily, Daddy's a little sick and a little injured right now. And I said, he can't do everything that he's normally able to do and that you've always seen him do. And I said, but it's completely okay, because I'm going to be strong through this for myself and for you and for Mommy. And we're going to overcome this together. And I'm going to be back on my prosthetic and build back to being stronger than ever. And that was a deeply emotional moment for me. Right. Because it's hard as a parent to show your child those moments of weakness.
It is.
But those are the most important moments, because they will never understand their own capacity to overcome struggle if we don't show that in ourselves.
Exactly.
So we have to show them the moments we're weak, so that we can show them how strong we can be in the face of that.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And that's what you've already done, bro. I know your baby boy's not quite here yet, but you're already doing that. And I know 100% you're going to do that every day of his life. And you're right, dude. It's a blessing.
It is.
And it's going to be a blessing because you've already decided that.
Yeah.
And no matter what fear or what challenge comes along the way, it will pale in comparison to that feeling of love and nurturing.
Yep.
And the knowledge of that blessing that you have. And it will allow you to overcome any of that fear, any of that challenge, find the highest level of opportunity inside of it.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a beautiful family, bro.
Yeah, thank you. Love is a powerful thing.
It is, man. It is. Well, dude, I can't thank you enough for coming on to chat today. This has been an unbelievably powerful conversation.
Yeah.
And you guys listening, man, I would scroll back and listen to this one again. And I probably will, honestly, because so many lessons inside of this episode. Paul's perspective and his mindset through everything he's battled is something we can all take a huge lesson from. We can all learn from, all grow from, and all build strength from. And that's why number one thing we ask you guys is if you can help us share this episode with more people, please do it, because we know how powerful these lessons are, how powerful this conversation is.
Yeah.
And we just want to help share with as many people as possible.
Yeah.
So, bro, you got anything else to add today?
I'm just grateful.
Yeah.
Honestly. I tell my son that every morning. I said, your day is what you make it. So make it great.
Yeah. I love that, dude. I love that. Your day is what you make it. So to everyone listening today, go out and make it great.
Yep.
Yeah. Guys, we want to thank you for listening to this episode. We want to thank you for being a part of this community, this mission and vision that Austin and I have fostered for so many years with Impossible Performance. And we're at a place now where we're just so thankful for the opportunity to be able to watch it grow, for the opportunity of the people we get to sit and meet and chat with and learn from, because it helps shift our own perspective in so many ways. Because and you can all be a huge part of this. You all are already a huge part of this, because as we've said from the beginning, we are wanting to build this out to a global perspective with global impact, helping so many people along the way, and you guys are our foundation in that. So we can't thank you enough for being a part of that every single day in everything we do, because at Impossible Performance, we are striving to build a global culture of strength, fostering a spirit of growth in constant pursuit of the impossible. Thank you guys for listening, and as always, be impossible.